Hello, welcome back to the channel, and thank you for helping me reach 5,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. That is so many people. I will let you in on a secret. At the beginning of this year, me and my friend Annie, who you've met in previous videos, went on a walk, and we were talking about New Year's resolutions. One of my New Year's resolutions was to reach a certain number of subscribers here on my channel by the end of 2022, and the number that I told her was 500. And here we are in March, and I'm at 5,000. I am so glad that you are enjoying my videos. It makes me so happy every time I see a comment from somebody who is also doing their undergrad or master's or PhD. I honestly wish I had this community 5 years ago when I was starting my PhD. I love getting to have conversations with you all in the comments, and I hope that we can continue to support each other and build each other up and help each other through whichever project we're working on. To celebrate, I thought it would be fun to have a sort of chatty video where I answer some of your questions that you might have for me at this 5K milestone. I asked you to tell me a bit about you in my previous community post, and I've been hearing from a number of you in the comment sections. I love it when you comment and tell me what you're doing your PhD in, or what your profession is, or what project you're working on right now. That's one of the reasons that I'm drawn to academia, is because it's a bunch of people doing research on the things that fascinate them and interest them, and I love hearing what other people's passions are. And then even more so, that's also what draws me to teaching, is helping other people pursue their passions. So keep telling me about what you're working on in the comments. It makes me very happy. But I realized when I hit 5,000 subscribers that you don't actually know a lot about me. Most of you are probably here because of one video where I talk about how I take notes. I thought I would answer some of your questions in this video to mark this milestone and so that you can get to know me a little bit better. Chelsea Shea asks, what led you to make a YouTube channel and why this niche, so to speak, of academics and note-taking systems? I made my channel, I think, about a year and a half ago, so during the pandemic, and I had also recently discovered BookTube because I decided that with this extra time the pandemic had given me to sit at home by myself, I was going to try to get back into reading fiction. So I started to watch all of these channels just chatting about books, and I started discovering books that way, and I started reading books, and then around that time I was also removing myself from different social media platforms, actually because I read this book, How to Do Nothing, which I think I'll feature in an upcoming video, and that convinced me to leave social media. The book doesn't ask you to leave social media or suggest that you should, but that's what I took out of the book personally. And I still wanted somewhere on the internet to share my opinions, but in a longer format. So I decided on YouTube, and what opinions did I want to share? It was just going to be my thoughts about books, because I thought that would encourage me to read more books, and it would give me a deeper connection with the books that I was reading, because hopefully I would be able to develop a community where we could chat about those books. It also aligned with other goals that I had of better public speaking skills. I wanted to learn how to better structure my thoughts, I guess, for a general public audience. And I thought a good first step in being able to do that would be being able to explain books to other people who maybe haven't read them yet. And the reason I specifically fell into the niche of note-taking and academics is because that was my problem point. Like, I was really struggling with how to take notes effectively. And then what I realized when I found Zettelkasten was that I really was struggling with how to organize all of my notes. Like, I can take notes, I can learn things, I can listen to speakers, I can write what they've said down, but how do I store all of that stuff so that decades of information doesn't get lost? So that was just something I struggled with. I wanted to be able to make the video that I wish that I had seen in undergrad so that I could share that with my students and with anybody else that was looking for that video, because whenever I YouTubed like note-taking for school or whatever, it was always like, oh, here's how you make a mind map, or here's how you do Cornell method, or here's how you do bullet journaling, or here's how you make your notes really pretty, here's all the pens that I use. And I did not need more pens. What I needed was a system that was actually going to store my information in a way that made sense for me. And it's totally a fluke that I found Obsidian or Zettelkasten in the first place. I don't think I was ever going to find this system on YouTube with how I was searching for it. So I wanted to make the video for the other arts folks, the other humanities PhDs and undergrads who were struggling with the same problem as me and couldn't find themselves on YouTube. And then why I speak about academics and my PhD is just because the PhD is also a struggle, and it's so much harder when you're alone, which in a humanities or arts PhD you often are. And I didn't want to be alone anymore, and I didn't want other PhDs to feel alone, and I wanted to demystify some of the processes of a PhD, because when I started one, nobody told me what I was getting myself into. And I hope to have more videos coming out in the future more directly about that. Super long-winded answer. So sorry, Chelsea. Chelsea's follow-up question, which a couple other people asked as well, was about why I did a PhD in the first place. And that's a great question that I think I could dedicate an entire video to. So I'm gonna leave my answer to that for a whole video. Let's find a fun one that I won't give a super long-winded answer to. Sophie Tuartis asks, if a giraffe were to wear bow ties, how would they wear them? Would it be a bunch of bow ties along its neck? One giant bow tie at the top? Something else? When I read this question, I did give it a little think. I asked myself how I would wear a bow tie. In my master's, I actually sewed bow ties for a while, and they turned out really well. I sewed them for my friends and family and myself. I made myself a nice pink paisley bow tie. If I can find a picture, I'll put it on the screen. And I thought, well, when I wear a bow tie, I wear it with a collared shirt at the base of my neck, sticking out of the collar. I think that a giraffe would wear it much like a human. Like they would wear, say, a collared shirt at the base of their neck with the bow tie in it. And then the size of the bow tie is really up to them. That's just your personal flair, I think. So my answer, Sophie, is one bow tie, whatever size they wish, at the base of their neck within a collared shirt. I'm so glad that we cleared that up. Next question. This person, I'm not sure how to pronounce your username, they ask, maybe a bit of an odd request, but could you tell us more about your personal life? Something outside of university and school. Fair enough. For example, do you play computer games? Did you go abroad somewhere? Your hobbies? Something like that. Do I play computer games? Not really. I started playing Valheim. The thing is that like I spend all my workday on my computer and then I really don't, I want to turn it off at the end of the workday and go somewhere else. So more often I play video games on my couch because I have a Nintendo Switch. My favorite game is Zelda Breath of the Wild. I love just wandering around and making more of the map appear and making food. I love open world games, especially really pretty ones. You know what? I played Firewatch a while back and I would love to play more games like Firewatch. I also really liked Super Mario Odyssey, which has that sort of open worldy feel. I also like collecting stuff in video games. Like I've played a bit of Hollow Knight, and when you like kill the monsters, they release coins or whatever, and I just love collecting all the coins. Like that's my goal. So those are the video games I play. Have I been abroad? Been in the States a lot. I've also been to England for a course on medieval theater. It was a 2-week intensive course. There was a section on medieval acting and production, and there was a section on medieval theater history. It was great fun. There was a festival at the end. We performed a show that we had put together in the weeks leading up to the festival. One of the greatest experiences of my life. Other hobbies? Coffee. We just bought a new fancy hand grinder. I have an Espro, an AeroPress, a Chemex. The Chemex I bought myself as a reward for having completed my comprehensive exams, a Hario pour over, and then a normal drip coffee maker. So coffee is another hobby. A couple people asked how I deal with procrastination on a day-to-day basis. Usually I just engage in procrastination and then feel really bad about myself afterwards, but I'm trying to correct that. Things like the 5-second rule, I don't know if that's what it's called, but where you're like, I'm gonna count to 5, and by 5, I'm gonna be doing the thing. I'm just gonna do the thing. That helps to just like trick yourself into doing it. Or I'm gonna do a Pomodoro. So I'm gonna do 25 minutes of work, and then I'm gonna take a 5-minute break, and if I didn't get into the groove in that 25 minutes, I'm just gonna stop. Planning something fun for the end of my day is also a way that I combat procrastination, because I'm not gonna enjoy the fun thing at the end of the day as much if I don't get work done during the day, because I just know that about myself. I'm gonna feel bad about myself if I don't do anything, and then I'm not gonna enjoy the fun thing. Plus then I have a deadline for getting some stuff done. I have to get it done before I go do the fun thing. For me also, I was a bit of a perfectionist previously, not in a good way. I was afraid to submit anything to anybody for review unless it was perfect. So I had a fear of critique from others. This is another reason that I made a YouTube channel, because I just have to click publish and get used to producing quantity over quality so that my quality gets better, because with perfectionism, you end up procrastinating so much that you never end up producing anything. So learning how to operate from a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset has really helped me stop procrastinating. Getting over my fear of critique, which is an ongoing battle, helped me get over my procrastination, and then just understanding the underlying cause for the procrastination. Back to the questions. Raphael Hunold asks about how I decide what is important to take a note about. Is it because it's related to other ideas you stored or something relevant on its own? Is it more the idea or the power of the sentence? So yes, yes, and yes, all of those things and understand more. I'm going to have a video upcoming on knowing what to take notes on and knowing what are your own words and empowering you to use your own eyes and voice to understand the world. Look forward to that video, Raphael. Oof. This person, not sure how you pronounce the username, asks, I would like to hear your opinion on university itself. Is it really worth the time or effort to get a PhD, or would you prefer to learn the skills you need in your job by yourself? That's a great question, one that I will likely have to think more about and tackle in a future video. Obviously, it really depends on your goals. For me, doing a PhD is about spending the time and putting in the effort. So if you want to put yourself through the experience of working really hard at something that you're passionate about, then I absolutely think a PhD is worth the time. For my PhD personally, what I'm getting the most out of it right now is being forced to understand what it takes to complete a long-term independent research and writing project. It's helping me learn how to discipline myself to do independent work, and it's teaching me the amount of time and effort that needs to be put into a project of that kind. Okay, I think that I'll leave it there. A lot of these questions are going to be answered in future videos, or I answered recently in my day in the life video, so check those out. Look forward to upcoming videos if this is the kind of thinking and content that you're interested in. Thank you so much for giving me these questions. I was very afraid to make this post asking for questions because I don't have an Instagram or a Twitter or a Facebook or anywhere that I can go to request questions. I needed them to come from you, my subscribers. Y'all came through for me, so thank you so much. And thank you for the 5,000 subscribers. Thank you for all of your comments. I love hearing from you, so please keep commenting. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to try to build a little community where we can support each other through our projects. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in another video soon. Bye everybody!